Grow your wealth, live on your terms. Hello, hello. Looks like we're live. Welcome, everybody. I just hope that you can see me, you can hear me. Always a good idea to check this before we start the training, right? So if you can, would be great if you could just give me a shout and let me know if you can hear me and see me. And also if you have girlfriends, sisters, daughters, right, colleagues who will benefit, who you think might benefit from this training, please share this video with them as well, because I think it would be very helpful for them to hear what I'm about to share with you. All right, so welcome to the live training, Why Women Need Special Mind-Body Reprogramming Strategies. And before I begin, first of all, I want to say that I truly appreciate having you here with me today watching this training, because the big elephant in the room right now is fear. Fear is in the air. It's everywhere, right? The television, the radio, magazines, newspapers, everywhere. So I just want you to take a pause from this external situation, external circumstances, and the fear that is fed to us constantly. And I want to invite you to have a conversation about what you can control, because we cannot control everything, right? So I want to have a conversation about what we can control, which is our inner world. The way we perceive things, the way we choose to react to things and interpret things, our perceptions, our perspectives, that we can control. Because when you are intentional about your thinking, emotions, choices, and behaviors, when you keep calm, when you stay collected and use common sense strategies, your external world will reflect that. Again, let me know if you hear, if you can see me. Just let me know if everything okay, because I always, when I do live stream, I always mindful about the video, the audio, etc. And again, if you can, share this training with other women if you can. Okay, so today, we're not going to have a mini class or a formal training with a PowerPoint presentation. I want to have more of a girls' conversation, if you will, right? A discussion. So again, feel free to tag your girlfriends, your sisters, your daughters, colleagues. Share this live stream with women who you think will benefit from it. And so today, I want to talk a little bit about how the female brain is different from male brain, and how it affects our thinking, how it affects our emotions, our choices, and our behaviors. And then after that, I'll open this call for your questions. Would be happy to answer any of the questions. In other words, we'll have a live Q&A, especially if you have questions about the upcoming Activate Effortless Wealth training. Okay? So far, so good? Let's start. The ideas of differences between the male and female brain have circulated since the time of ancient Greece. And fast forward to modern times. Remember John Gray, the author of the acclaimed book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, who argued that the two genders have fundamentally different ways of thinking and communicating. Remember that? And a growing body of scientific research now supports Gray's premise. Especially recent neuroscience literature supports the idea that male and female brains are fundamentally and inherently different, meaning that we're born with these differences in our brains. Neuroscientists who have studied the nervous systems of men and women have found that they found physiological and anatomical variations that could explain some gender differences in cognition and in behavior. For example, neuroimaging studies have shown that women tend to use both sides of the brains for processing language, while men typically employ only the left side of the brain. Isn't it interesting? Look, we all know that men and women often approach and interpret life situations and events differently. It's not that one approach is better than the other. Let me just say it right away here. But they're just different. And the unique characteristics of male and female brains have a lot to do with these differences. In fact, they have a physiological basis, right? These differences. So the male brain, for example, is about 10% larger on average than female brain. I was surprised to learn that. But size doesn't matter here. After all, elephants have brains that are 3 times larger and have more neurons than humans, right? But we don't see them making surgery, and it's not because they don't have fingers. So a few neuroscience researchers argue that brains of men and women are wired differently. The male brain is wired from front to back, with very few connections across the 2 hemispheres. Women, on the other hand, have more wiring from left to right, so the 2 hemispheres are more interconnected. They talk to each other all the time, the left and the right hemispheres of the brain. So without getting into a lot of neurological details, and I'm definitely not a neuroscientist, but rather a reader of neuroscience literature. I love to get latest research from neuroscience. So researchers propose that these wiring differences result in men and women having different strength. So while neither gender brain is better than the other one overall, each is better on average at certain things, right? We have like a specialty differences. So here are some of the findings from neuroscience research. Women are better at multitasking. Men are better at performing single tasks. Don't we know that, right? From observation. I'm pretty sure we all know that. But that now it's supported by brain research findings. Women are better at attention, attentive listening, word memory, social cognition, and verbal abilities. Well, we all know that women on average usually talk more, right? We like to talk, we like to chat with our girlfriends. Okay, also women are better at fine motor coordination, like dancing, and at retrieving information from long memory. Look, I hear from my husband all the time, I can't believe you still remember that, right? So we all know that we recall past experiences easier and faster. Women also are more oriented toward remembering faces and have better memories of these faces, right? And men have better memories of things, of objects. Isn't it interesting? Men are better at visualizing multidimensional objects rotated in space and at tracking moving objects. And men are also better at finding their way. They determine their position from the direction and the distance they track. Women, on the other hand, rely more on landmarks. And gosh, I can so relate to this finding, because it's definitely rings true to me, because I'm not very good at directions, and I definitely always use landmarks to find where I need to turn left or right. I don't know about you. So, and by the way, if you have any comments, just feel free to post them as we go along. Okay, so unfortunately, there are also gender-specific tendencies that are not so good. Women are more prone to experience depression, anxiety, and also post-traumatic stress disorder. Men are more likely to suffer from schizophrenia, dyslexia, and autism, and also more prone to become alcoholic or drug dependent. We also know that men and women react differently from an emotional perspective, and researchers argue that it also has to do with our brain differences, right? So the female brain has greater blood flow in the part of the brain that involved in processing emotions, resulting in more intense emotional reactions and stronger emotional memories. And what is fascinating is that there are some gender-specific behaviors that seem to be inherent, not learned, meaning they hardwired in us. We're born with this specific behaviors that they're not learned. And since our behaviors are initiated by our brains, this suggests that there's some hardwiring going on from the birth, right? For example, again, this is from me reading neuroscience literature. Female mice, in their test, female mice have a trait not found in male mice of protecting their nest from invaders. Not male mice. Isn't it interesting? In monkeys, for example, males prefer toys with wheels, while female monkeys prefer plush toys, right? Human toddlers show a preference for gender-specific toys as well, way before they have awareness of their gender. So we all know this from experience, right? So the female brain also has more wiring in the areas that play a role in social cognition and verbal communication, because there is less connectivity in the male brain between the left and right hemispheres, the verbal centers, and the emotions and memories. Men are not as effective as communicators by design. I'm not talking about some famous successful speakers, by design, right, on average. So that may be why they also tend to have less interest in conversations. I'm talking about your husbands, your boyfriends, your sons, right? That may be why women are better at empathizing with others. You notice that? That women are better at empathizing with others? We have a better sense of what is happening around us, and we are richer in our verbal expressions. And that's why we worry more about safety of our children, about security, like financial security of our family, for instance. I also want to point out that brain wiring, neural pathways, neural connections change as the result of experience as we go through life and learning. So it's not static. So in other words, while there is inherent neurological differences between male and female brains, there are also learned sociocultural influences. The influences that we experience as we go through life. Our brains are not static. The neural pathways adjust. They adjust all the time. That's why brain rewiring, intentionally changing neural pathways, is possible because it's not static. For instance, the way we are brought up plays a major role in how we act, how we think, and what we believe in, because our brains adapted accordingly, right? Finally, I want you to remember this. When the same signals are processed over and over again, those neural networks get stronger, just like muscles or skills develop with usage and practice, right? And we can be intentional about which brain muscles, neural pathways, we want to cultivate and strengthen. All right? So now let's take a pause. Let me get some water here. And let me check any questions so far. Don't see any questions. Are we good? Oh boy, I had so many windows open here, so I have to navigate it. So ladies, you know, if you have a cup of something delicious or a cup of water, take a break, take a pause. Today, I'm not rushing to make this time efficient. Today, I want to just enjoy our time together here and just feel calm and keep your curiosity going, because we have some interesting stuff that I want to share with you even more. Okay? So how are we doing so far? Good? Okay. Now, why I wanted to talk to you about this today? Why like today? Well, actually, there are many reasons. First of all, I want to say that I hope from what I shared with you earlier, you can see that we're literally wired by nature, not only in our bodies, but in our brains. We're wired differently than men. What happens at 7 weeks in the mother's womb changes everything, right? Whether we have children or not, we are designed to have children. We are designed by nature to worry about safety and security. That's how we are wired as women. And so how does it affect us? How does it affect our thinking, our emotions, our choices, our behaviors? Well, in the Think and Live Wealthy training video 1, I shared with you the metaphor for the past conditioning. For the past conditioning. So like you remember we had this, I used this infographics where I showed you, you know, this is the past conditioning, right? And that's the rubber band effect that I discussed with you in Think and Live Wealthy. Remember that? So I maybe I should keep it like that so you will see it. Let me know if you can see the image. So basically what I wanted to say that in the video number 1 in this Think and Live Wealthy training, I shared with you this past conditioning effect. I call it rubber band effect. That is meant to keep us safe. Let me just put it because I don't want to hold it. It's meant to keep us safe by keeping us stagnant, by making us feel obligated to please others, by making us to conform to societal norms, and by making us to compromise on our dreams and our desires for the sake of others, our spouses, our partners, our children, our parents, right? By basically making us stay where we are, keeping the status quo, repeating what was done before, because we survived. And I know it very, very well, because when I decided to leave my marriage, my first marriage, my mother was really, really upset at me. It's like she couldn't understand, why can't I just keep the status quo? He doesn't drink, he doesn't beat you up, he is a good provider. What are you doing? Like, why? Because status quo is what she knew. Status quo is what is comfortable, and it's for most women, it's this cultural conditioning is like that. So this rubber band effect, also known as past conditioning, is keeping us hostage in the inner jail of fears, obligations, guilt, and also shame and doubts and self-judgments. Every time we try to get ahead, we stretch far beyond what we thought is possible for us, which would be a good thing, right? The inner villain will relentlessly pull us back. Remember this? It will relentlessly pull us back by making us worried, making us fearful, worried about our kids, worried about work, worried about the stock market, worried about the retirement, worried about our children's health and their financial well-being, in addition to our own. For example, my daughter is a grown-up woman, and yet if I allow this villain to have its way, I would worry about her all the time, about her relationship, about her work, her health, her finances. If I don't hear from her for a short period of time, I get worried. And not so much her father, right? He's like, why are you worried? She's okay. Well, because I didn't hear from her. I am wired like that. We are wired like that. Ladies, that's how we are wired, to nurture, to protect, to seek safety and security. And many of you shared with me publicly and privately how the rubber band held you back for years. And I shared with you in the Think and Live Wealthy training my own personal story about living in the survival fog of fears, obligations, and guilt for years, right? And so I believe that women need specialized brain techniques that are customized for female brain. I also believe that it's more effective for women to work with a woman guide, who can relate easier to how you feel, what you've gone or possibly currently going through, and work with a woman guide who achieved what you want to achieve, what you aspire to achieve. You know, men may say, just stop worrying, everything is fine, just plow ahead. I don't know about you, I hear this all the time from my husband. Everything is fine, stop worrying. Yeah, but they're not the ones who usually take care of everything, right? It's usually us, women, who take care of the home, making food, take care of the kids, take care of the elderly parents, work, preparing for the future, and whatever time we have left to squeeze into our busy days, just to take care of ourselves just a little bit. Would you agree? Let me know in the comments if it rings true to you. Women have different life experiences. Women have different challenges, different dreams and desires. That's the fact. And so I personally believe that women need different personalized mind-body reprogramming techniques than men, right? In order to achieve success and happiness in life. And that's why possibly all the books and courses and mega events that maybe you attended haven't made the difference yet in your life. That's why you're still seeking for solutions. It's not until you dive deep into your subconscious, really go into on the intentional internal discovery of your hidden inner obstacles, your motivations as a woman, your deep dreams, that things are going to start changing in your life from the inside out. Do you remember the image in Think and Live Wealthy video 1? We talked about the past, right? This is the past. We talked about your present, and we talked about your future, right? I divided our life timeline into 3 phases: past, present, and future. So I want to ask you, where were you this week, or where are you this week? I want to know that. Because fear about the coronavirus is everywhere. The stock market plunged to bear market levels. Crazy. It's like every day we just see it's plunging lower and lower. That's where we are this week. I know that many women who have most of their money invested in the stock market feel paralyzed or really panic in this situation, especially if you need this money now in the short term. Ladies, that's the evil rubber band effect at play, pulling you back to fear, to doubts, to worries, self-sabotaging and self-blaming reactive behaviors. Would you agree? Also, remember in the Think and Live Wealthy video 2, I shared with you the first step of unraveling your past conditioning. Remember that? If you watched this training, I hope you remember that. Frankly, we have to get deep into your subconscious, very deep, as well as address what's going on with your body. What painful emotion you stored there, because it's emotional memories that are stored in your body and need to be released. And that's exactly what we're going to do during this 10-week journey in the Activate Effortless Wealth training that I'm offering right now. And by the way, I want you to go to this link right now. Just let me know if you can see this. Okay, so let me just read it. daretochangelifecom/AEW 2020. Like, I don't know if you can see this. I tried to write it and print it so you can see this. So go to this link, daretochangelifecom/AEW 2020. And I want you to check it out today. because I think it's really, really valuable training for you, and I will only offer it once a year. So if you decide to register for this training today, first person who will register today will receive an 1-hour quantum release protocol session with me, QRP session with me. The value is $500 or more probably, but let's keep it at this level. So you ladies, if you register today, the first person will get this QRP session with me free. Okay, so during this advanced mind-body training, Activate Effortless Wealth, we'll use at least 6 more methodologies. Like I showed you, one methodology is how to start unraveling, right? Your past conditioning. So in Activate Effortless Wealth, we'll use at least 6 more methodologies to cut the strings of the rubber band that keep pulling you back again and again. And remember, in Think and Live Wealthy video, training video 3, I shared with you the FCBT protocol for reconditioning yourself for your desired future. Remember that? I also gave you the worksheet where I described 4 steps for this protocol. Ladies, that was just one of 8 other techniques we're going to use in the Activate Effortless Wealth. Look, I know that those tools that I shared with you in the short, free 4-part training, Think and Live Wealthy, will help you get unstuck and start moving forward. I have no doubts about that. I shared with you very, very useful, helpful, powerful concepts and tools. However, excuse me, let me get some sip of water here. Better. If you want a comprehensive makeover of your mind-body loop, I believe you'll need more personalized setting. Would you agree? I believe that you will need more personalized setting where I could work with you directly over a longer period of time to help you unravel your past conditioning and recondition your mind and your body for your desired future. And so again, I want you to go and get all the details about this Activate Effortless Wealth training, because I don't want to spend time on this in this call today. So go to daretochangelifecom/A like Apple, E like Edward, W like Willie, 2020. Okay, you got it? I also have my lovely husband prepared this, so in case if you didn't see the link before, yeah, like that. All right. So just go to this page that describes this training and see if this life-changing advanced mind-body training is good fit for you. And remember, I decided to mail. Actually, I didn't talk about this yet. So I decided to mail my best-selling book, A Shift Toward Abundance: Secrets to Financial Freedom, to first 5 people who will register today. Okay, so that's kind of to motivate you to act a little bit. So if you register today, the first person gets QRP session with me. That's an energetic healing session, and 5 people who register first today will receive my best-selling books. Do you know how the Activate Effortless Wealth training was created? Let me share with you really quickly how I created it. Basically, I reverse engineered everything that I experienced, all my challenges, all my obstacles, and all my breakthroughs and successes. And I I collected all the techniques and strategies that I used in my own, frankly, remarkable 180-degree turnaround, where I went from broke, depressed, and alone to financially independent, confident, fulfilled, and happily married. And plus, I expanded and enhanced this training by everything that I've learned and experienced since that time. And I'm learning and growing all the time. It took me literally to perfect my insights and solution protocols that I offer in this training. And what I want you to realize when you are going to be looking at the Activate Effortless Wealth page is that this training will cover what you really need to do, which is clean up your past. We need to clean up your past from the survival fag, right? Cut the strings of the rubber band. We need to understand your present. What is happening right now with you? And then you would be able to get to your desired future, right? You follow me? Any questions so far? I know that many of you will watch this in recording, so I just want to say that feel free to post your questions in the comments, or if it's a private questions, because frankly I receive a lot of private messages and emails because women not very comfortable always share their personal information in public. It's personal preference. But what I want you to know that during this training, Activate Effortless Wealth, you will create a personalized mind-body reference guide and keep all your insights in this guide. So when life throws a curveball at you again, and it will, c'est la vie, as you say in French, it's life, you will be able to go back to your guide, personalized guide, look at the specific phase in your life. You will have like dividers, past, present, and future, and see what you've done about this situation or similar situation during the training and how to handle it. Okay, so ladies, go ahead right after this training. Not yet. I don't want you to miss out on the Q&A. And check everything about this training at this URL. It's daretochange.com/AEW 2020. daretochange.com/AEW 2020. And don't forget the gifts that I announced today. So the first lady who will sign up today will get a very, very powerful, I can tell you from experience, very powerful quantum release protocol session with me. And the first 5 ladies who will sign up today will receive my best-selling book, A Shift Toward Abundance, Secrets to Financial Freedom. Okay, and now I am open to your questions. So go ahead and type them in the comments. And I also want to share with you, I told you that not everybody is comfortable to post questions, on the internet. So I received very, very interesting questions. I chose some of them that might be relevant to most people, and I will share them with you today. But before I do that, again, I want to remind you that if you not comfortable posting your questions in the comments of this video, I understand, no problem. Just send me private message, right? Or you can email me at Millen, M-I-L-L-E-N, at daretochangelifecom. So I'm giving you my personal email, millen@daretochangelifecom. Feel free to send me questions, any questions that you have about whether this training, whether the Activate Effortless Wealth training, after you check the page. So feel free to contact me with your questions, okay, privately. All right, so let's see. So I have a feeling that I probably should share with you the questions that I received privately, because I don't see that there are many courageous souls here just to ask questions. And you know, most questions that I receive, they kind of personal. So I understand, totally understand, no problem. But let me share with you what I received privately. Okay. So I actually printed them out, these questions, because I wanted to make sure that I read them exactly the way they were asked. So will this AEW, Activate Effortless Wealth program, work for me? I've tried mindset boot camps and courses in the past, and they didn't work for me. How is this training different? So this question was from Heather from Georgia. So, you know, I am so glad that I have an opportunity to talk about this, because I know from personal experience too that many women, they buy courses and they don't use them. They become shelf help instead of self-help, right? So, and that is so common, so unfortunately prevalent, especially among busy professional women, that when I designed Activate Effortless Wealth, I had this specific aspect in mind. Because every time when we take on some course, the first couple of questions we ask ourselves: can I do that? Will I have time? Can I keep up with this course? Will I be able to address all my issues? And when you start questioning your ability to succeed at something, like, can I do that? Can I really make it work for me? You start doubting yourself. You start, in a way, sabotaging yourself before you even start. And that's why in this training, I bring some very important aspects of self-motivation, like why you are motivated to succeed, right? What is your big why? We go deep. We go deep because, you know, on the surface, if you just take some program and you don't work with the guide, with the coach, with the teacher in person, it's very hard sometimes to stay motivated and stay accountable and stay online, on top of everything, right? So I personally can tell you this, that I will not let you fail, and I will also not let you get distracted, right? So I will be very gentle but very firm, knowing what you need to succeed. So from what I know, all women who took this training, and you can see some testimonials on the page of this training, they had major breakthroughs and major successes as a result of this training. All right, so that was question number one. I hope I answered this to your satisfaction. Okay, next question that I want to share with you. How quickly can I release my money blocks? How long will it take for me to become wealthier? That was a question from Ellen from New Jersey. You know what? It's a very common question. Don't we all want to be wealthy by tomorrow morning? Most of us do, right? So to answer this question, I can tell you that it depends. That's the honest question. It depends, because it depends on your commitment. It depends on your engagement during this training. It depends on how willing you are to implement what you learn, apply this into your life right away. So it really will depend on you. I can tell you that you will get all the tools, all the techniques, support, guidance that you need to really accelerate your financial trajectory. That I can promise you, that guarantee that you will make progress during this training. Okay, I cannot promise you that you will get wealthier by tomorrow morning, but I've seen people had, within 4 weeks, people had more clients, money coming in, unexpected money coming in, feel more confident, get raises at work, etc. Right? 4 weeks. And even within 4 days, some felt completely different sense of self, right? More high confidence, more positive image of what's ahead, more excitement about their life, very, very quickly. So I'm actually very inspired by the results that I see in my students of this training. Okay, so let's continue, because I want to make sure that I share with you some questions. The reason I'm sharing with you these questions because I believe that some of them would be very useful for you as well. I hope so. So if not, like I said, you can always ask me your specific questions. Okay, next question. I work really, really hard, and I'm frugal about spending my money. Yet, I still don't have enough to feel wealthy. How this training will help me feel more ease and less worry about money. That's from Julie from New York. I don't know if it's New York City or just New York. So, ladies, frugality is a sign of lack in your beliefs, sign of scarcity attitude, because it's good to save money, right? But it's also very important to come from a place of abundance. When you save, it's also very important to come from a place of purpose. Money likes purpose. Like when you are saving money, if you say, I'm saving money because I want to buy a new house, I'm saving money because I want to buy a new car, I'm saving money because I want my child to go to a good school. So if you have a specific purpose that ignites your enthusiasm, that it's a very different energy that you put in. It's not a lack energy. It's a excitement energy, and it makes a difference, believe it or not. It makes a difference why you are saving, because if you constantly feel that you have to save for the rainy day, like that's what our mothers used to say, save for the rainy day, save for the rainy day, this rainy day will come. On the other hand, if you are saving saving money in your emergency fund, or we like to call it peace of mind fund, that's a very different feeling. You want to have peace of mind. That's why you are allocating money into your peace of mind account. You see? So what I'm saying that sometimes these subtleties, like, yeah, I'm saving, so what's, why I I still not as wealthy as I could be, but it's very important from what place you're coming, from a place of lack and scarcity and fear, or from a place of abundance, from a place of expansion and peace of mind, right? You want to have a peace of mind. So that's another question that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so moving along. Next question. I noticed that I have no problem making money, but then I spend it all, and I still live a paycheck to paycheck. How will this training, she's referring to Activate Effortless Wealth, how will this training help me save my money? That's from Renata in Florida, actually. So this is another great question, and this question clearly pertains to the rubber band effect, right? Remember? Like this. So what I'm saying is that it happens to the best of us. We become successful, we become wealthy, we accumulate money, and we enjoy life, and then something happens, something just pulls us back. That's, ladies, that's the rubber band effect at play, right? Because certain programming, we're programmed in a certain way that if you stretch too far from this programming, it will pull you back. And that's why in this training, in Activate Effortless Wealth, I address all the hidden beliefs, all the hidden facts and experiences that we feel that are true to us. We honestly feel that that's the truth, but it's not. Like for me, for example, for a longest time, I felt that I was not good enough to be wealthy. For the longest time, it was programmed in me through my childhood, through my adulthood. Like, who am I to be financially independent? Who am I to live in two countries and live and have beautiful houses by the beach? Who am I? I had to work on this. I had to work on letting these stored memories, emotional memories that were stored in my body, I had to release them. It took me a while. I was working with many coaches and with, was reading books, and all of this stuff was like not landing on me until I was able to really willing. I was on my knees. I was willing to look close and at something that I thought was absolute true. And it was false, obviously, right? So that's why in this training, we're gonna dig deep in your subconscious. We're gonna look and dig deep into the emotional memories that you have stored in your body. We have to cut this rubber band. So in your life, when you reach higher, when you leap forward to your desired future, you will not have this evil villain pulling you back. Okay? All right, so how we're doing on time? It looks like we have a little bit more time. Okay, so let me read the next question. Okay. I'm still an employee, but I'm aspired to become an entrepreneur and be in control of my paycheck and my time. Excuse me 1 second. I got a little bit emotional. So So I'm an employee, but I'm aspired to become an entrepreneur and be in control of my paycheck and my time. How will this training help me get more clarity about my future business and when I should leave my job? So this is from Yolanda in Ohio. Okay, this is such a great question. You know, very often we like to ask other people, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should start this business? And when I started, when I was just planning to exit my corporate career, I was asking my friends, do you think I'm a born entrepreneur? I was like asking such a weird question. We rely on other people's feedback. And the truth is, I believe that's what I believe in, that the truth is that the answers are inside you. You know best. However, when your judgment, your decision making is clouded or covered by living in the survival fog, by what other people say, by what other people do, it's, you know, we get distracted by this external noise, by the fears, by the anxiety, not only our own but other people. So what this training does, the Activate Effortless Wealth training, what it does is that it helps you to let go of this external noise and really reconnect with the true source, with the true power source that you have inside you. You have this source. You have the answers inside you. All you need is to find a way to access this source. And that will catapult you to whatever next best step is for you. Okay? All right. So that was a great question. And I think I have time for one more question. Okay. Just one second. Okay. I'm a successful professional woman and make high six figures income at my corporate job. However, I'm still struggling with money. My expenses are staggering. I still have credit card debt. How this training will help me improve my financial situation? That's from Nina. You know what? I can talk about this question for a long time, but let me just try to be really short. Activate Effortless Wealth is the foundation for the millionaire method. I called it, you know, using my name, the millionaire method. It's a holistic system for becoming financially independent, because it's not enough to make a lot of money, right? You've got to be prepared. You've got to be wired in a way that you will help make this money grow, right? Because we all know that, look, we have lottery winners that become poor again. So, like I said, it's great that you make a lot of money, whoever, you know, maybe this question resonates. But I used to make a lot of money, and then my rubber band pulled me back, because we need to be prepared. We need to be wired to think wealthy, to make wealthy choices, to make decisions that will help us to become wealthy, right? So it's not enough to bring a lot of money. You've got to be the person who can grow wealth, who can be wealthy, who can live the wealthy life. And that's what Think and Live Wealthy training is about. And this training is the foundation for my for the Millionaire Method, which is a system for creating financial independence. And that probably would be the last question I will cover today. I have a couple more, but I don't want to take too much of your time. And I look forward to hearing from you. Like I said again, if you're not comfortable to post your questions in the comments, I understand, no problem. Email me, Millen at daretochangelifecom, Millen, M-I-L-L-E-N at daretochangelifecom, or private message me, and I would be happy to answer all the questions that you may have about this very powerful, life-changing, once a year only training, Activate Effortless Wealth. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being so mindful and being willing to grow and wanting more and wanting to be more, right? So I really appreciate that. And I look forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, be healthy, be wealthy, because you can be wealthy in your mind before you become wealthy in your external world, and be free. I really want to see you prosperous. Look forward to seeing you soon in our training. And last time, I want to remind you the link where you can see the link to the URL where you can check out the more information about this training. It's daretochangelifecom/AEW 2020. AEW 2020. I cannot wait to have you with us. Again, to your health, wealth, and freedom. Grow your wealth. Live on your terms.